Okay. This video is about the third one I've made, and the others you haven't seen because I haven't posted them, because I've not got this gland nut off here yet. I'm going to go over it one more time. Right in this hole there's a piece of wire that goes around inside there, securing that gland to the body or the cylinder of this hydraulic cylinder here. And the shaft and piston goes in here, and another gland on this side, which I got out. The problem is this is seized up in here, and I've lubed it, cleaned it out with compressed air. I've lubed it. I finally got it to soak lubricant up in this hole. For a while it never would take it. That's how corroded it was inside there. It now has taken the lube, and I've been able to knock this flange back that way and get a little gap in between it and the tube here. You may not can see it, but there's almost enough room to put your fingernail in there, which means I have loosened this gland up a little bit. Spraying lubricant down in here and in this hole where there's a groove cut out in the gland and the tube. Okay, here is the other gland, and you'll see the groove right here. And here's where your O-ring and your other packing seal goes. That's the outside. That's really keeping the hydraulic fluid from leaking in between here and the cylinder right here. And you may not can see it, but there's a groove right there. So here's that spring right here. It goes in between this tube and this gland right here, and it actually comes out this hole here. So you got to turn this counterclock or clockwise and expose the end of that wire, and then when you get the end of the wire pulled out of that hole by turning it and prying it up, then you can spin this and it'll come out and spiral around until you can actually then knock the gland out of the tube. The problem is getting this to turn so that you can find the end of the wire. And you can't just clamp this in the vise any way you want to, because you'll distort this tube, and then your piston won't move up and down in there freely. So you can ruin this cylinder tube here by clamping it in the vise. And I've got a wrench with a long cheater bar on it, and I have torqued on this and torqued on it both ways, and it hasn't moved a centimeter. Not a bit. I've had a mark on it, and it's not moved a bit. Either way, I have heated this up with a torch. You can see that I've heated this up. That's the color the end was that didn't need to be heated, and I've heated this up. I've heated this up on the outside, hoping that I would be able to turn this nut, but it hasn't worked yet. But I'm still working on it. It's like the race between the tortoise and the hare. But anyway, that's where we're at. We're just doing this video to update those that have inquiring minds. And that tang there sticking up from that wire, it wasn't even visible on this one. I don't even know where in the world that thing come from, because this end right here. But anyway, I've got to get the wire out to get the flange out of there to reseal this and put it back together. And that's 635 on the Richter scale, so that's all I got to say about this.